Welcome to Mccrackins Corner. Our guest today is Rockin' Jimmy Herter.
We got together in DeKalb there, and we came back in the summer after that semester. Of course, I had quit college by then. I was just hanging out there. Came back and got some work in the construction, like the whole band, and we made some money, and we got a PA together, and we were doing gigs. We got a sound system.
What area? Where are we at? What year?
This is 1975.
75, because of 1 year later. Okay.
75. We found a booking agent to take Wooden Planet like all around the country.
And what was Wooden Planet playing at that time?
Top 40 stuff.
Now, did you guys write any of your own music?
Yeah, we were writing songs. We were writing songs like from 74 on.
Did you play any of your own music that you wrote?
We did. We did. When we were traveling around the country in 75 and 76, we'd go into the bar in the afternoon, because we'd play these bars for like 5 or 6 days at a time, and then go on to the next place. You know.
What kind of music was it that you guys were writing and playing?
Really, what was coming out of us was just whatever we could do, and it was mostly like from folk rock to country rock.
Is there one particular song that you guys wrote back in that time that sticks out to you that you just love, but that you'd like to play?
We met up with this country singer when we were in the Druids, Bonnie Ferguson, and she had a record, and we got one song on the record. It was called The Teardrops and the I Love Yous. You know, song on a record.
Nice.
It was okay.
And how old were you at that time?
We were 19.
Nice.
You know.
Got to feel good at 19.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, we were touring around the country before I was 21.
So you guys got an agent, and then you decided to go out to LA?
Well, we toured around the country, came back to Chicago, regrouped. We had to find some new members.
And how many band members did you have at that time?
You know, the first band that we went around the country with, I think, had 6 members. We were carrying a real piano around with us. It was a little one. We had a blind guy with us, John Devlin. He was excellent, and he's still playing around all over the place, solo right now. But he would be carrying the piano. All right, I got it, man, no problem. All right, there's a step. I got it, man, no problem. It was a crack up. I mean, to be that age and going week to week around the country, like Minnesota, Idaho, Texas.
You guys had some good success.
Long drives in between. You know, we did it. I don't know. We had to have some kind of.
So did you guys drive independently, or did you have a bus or a van?
No, we had a few cars. We drove around the country the first time, and we had 3 cars. We figured it out later. We got a couple vans. Usually 2 vans would do it, and we got around pretty good like that.
So after you guys came back and regrouped, what happened?
Then we went out in '76. We went out with another band. That's when we got Wooden Planet. That was the 3 guitar players, bass, drums, and keyboard.
And who was pushing to keep the band going?
This was Jimmy Caprio, was our leader.
Okay.
And he was very good. He was very charming man. He is a very charming man. He can talk to people. You know, he had the ways, and we'd always say he had the mouth and I had the hands, because I was a pretty good mechanic. I could figure out how to get things done, and he could figure out where we were going for our next gig. After we came back from that first tour,
with 6 members.
With 6 members, we came back, regrouped, and headed back out again as the Wooden Planet. And after playing a few gigs around the country, we booked a gig in Arizona, and we headed out to Arizona to live. So that was our first real tour where we got on the road.
And why Arizona? What
because
drew you to that?
One of the guys, the keyboard player, Steve Costegas, his dad lived there. Well, we got out there, and his dad goes, "What? You want me to put all these guys up? You can stay on the floor one night. That's it." So we had a place to stay for one night. It's like, now what? So we wind up out at a campground or something, and wake up in the morning, and there's a river, and there's steer running around on the range, and like we could have got snake bit, just laying on the ground. It was a love story for me. love at first sight with Arizona. I have a place in Scottsdale now. So we got out to Arizona, we found a house, we found a place to live, we got some gigs. You know, we were poor as sin, but we had a big house and we practiced all the time. We did one gig and we have the tape. As of today, we did an entire set of originals. And to listen to it this day, it was pretty darn good. We were a good band. You know, we had a whole big set of original music, and the guys taped it for us. And what a genius thing for them to be offering us, hey, we can tape your set.
Was this in 75 or 76?
This was, I believe, 76.
How many songs did you have?
We had easily over a dozen songs. I mean, it sounds great to this day. I was upset after the gig because they wanted to charge us $5 for the tape that they recorded all this music on, and that's priceless today to me, you know.
Oh.
You know, I'm out after the gig. Well, we didn't make any money, and they want us to pay him $5.
What was the name of the album?
Well, Apache Land.
Apache Land?
Apache Land Live. It was a movie set that a bunch of hippies were living at, but they had a bar and a very cool stage in the saloon. I've gone back to visit it a couple times. It's a cassette, Apache Land Live at Apache Land.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. Apache Land was the movie set.
By Rockin, Jimmy Herter.
Well, yeah, we all wrote. We all had songs.
How long did that group stay together?
About 3 years, I think. 75, 76, 77, yeah. Because in 78, we took yet another band, another formation, and moved to LA. I think we cut down to 5 guys, went out to LA, we played the Troubadour, and we played maybe a couple other gigs. But then we came back to Chicago.
Were you still using the same promoter at that time, too?
Yeah, I think we still did have the same agent. We went out for one tour, went through LA with that band, the Wooden Planet. We had our matching suits that we'd use at some of these clubs wanted you to have matching suits. So we wore our matching jacket, tie, and it was a suit. We wore those to the Troubadour. You know, it's like the hip place to play, and we're in matching suits. I don't know.
Was it still all pop at that time?
Yeah, we're still all pop. We were the 1960s tribute act in 1976. You know, we were playing 60s music in the 70s. I suppose a lot of bands were, but you know, we were the revival act way before our time. Band that went out to LA and came back, then reformed. We got out to LA in 78 as the Daily Planet.
Oh, the Daily Planet. Now that's a cool name. Yeah.
I thought it was a cool name. I mean, we took a lot of joking about it. Hey, well, who's Superman then?
Right.
I thought the name Daily Planet was a little more accessible than Wooden Planet, but as it turns out, Wooden Planet would have been a better name, I think. Yeah. You know, for now, I think Wooden Planet's a great name.
You guys played as the Daily Planet for how long?
We played as Daily Planet from 78 to about 82.
Oh, pretty good stretch.
That was a good stretch out there. We were playing our originals.
Now were you guys doing it all full time at that point?
We found a great house just a block down from the Whiskey A Go Go. It was on the same block that the Viper Room is on now. The bar on the block that we lived on was Filthy McNasty's, and we'd walk up the street with our guitars and play right on the Sunset Strip. The way we subsidized ourselves, we'd go up to the ski areas and play. There was good gigs up there. We went up to Mammoth Lakes, and they'd never seen anything like us because we were playing like talking.
Like up in the mountains where the ski lodge was.
Yep, we'd go up and play one of the big bar restaurants up there, and these guys had never. We were playing like the Police and Talking Heads and stuff that was on the radio, the hip radio, like K-Rock at the time. So they loved us. So we could go up there 2 or 3 weeks at a time, come back with all this money, and record our songs in our basement because we had a little recording studio in the basement of this great house on San Vicente Street.
You were like your mid-20s then?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yep. 24, 25 years old. Up in the ski area, we ran into the bass player from the Linda Ronstadt band and his buddy. That was Kenny Edwards, who played in the Stone Ponies, and his buddy Roy Marinelli, who co-wrote Werewolves of London. So these guys took an interest in us, and they started going to our house when we were away and listening to all our songs that we wrote, because we had like 100.
Oh, they were listening to your originals.
Yeah, we had 100
okay.
songs, and they liked the way we played, like Surrender or something, you know, Cheap Trick. It's uncanny that that's the group we hung around with. They started producing our music. Kenny Edwards and Andrew Gold producing your original songs.
Oh, nice.
And Andrew Gold had an amazing set of ears. He could make you sound full and rich, and you know.
Did they give you any pointers or any critical of what you guys were doing?
I learned so much from Andrew. Andrew would come and play with us at the bars, you know, just as a showcase, cameo kind of thing, and it's just to see the way these guys played, you know. I mean, Waddy Wachtel would fill in for me when I had to like leave to go back home for something. I said, well, I'm gonna get Waddy to play. He knows everything. So
at this point, were you still just playing the guitar? Were you thinking about picking up the horns again?
I was.
Started to pick it back
I did
up?
play the flute. I played flute on and some of the recordings, and played sax when the song lent itself to it, but not that much. I was concentrating on guitar because I was the guitarist.
Okay.
You know, had our original sets, so we were playing the Whiskey A Go Go, the Starwood, Club 88, and Blackie's. All these places that had the original.
Did you get a good response out of your original music?
Yeah, we did. One agent, Brad Gelfand, interviewed us, and he was getting us gigs all up and down California. We opened for the Talking Heads in Tucson. We opened for the Romantics down in San Diego. We opened for like J.J. Cale at the Waldorf in San Francisco. It was like, wow, dude, we're onto something here. To this day, I think it was a big deal. We were slapping our posters up right next to the Knack, hotels, X, the Blasters.
I remember all that.
We were playing with all these guys, and you know, we opened for these guys in some of the clubs.
What was one of your favorite self-written songs that you sang that you got a big response out of the crowd?
We got a lot. Well, there was a song called Trouble, and you could pogo to it, you know. Da 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 da. Trouble, 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 trouble. It kind of moved pretty good, you know. We had in 1980 we were recording a documentary for the New Year's, the big 1980s turn of the decade. So we had these film cameras in there. These guys were recording us. We had a single put out that had a song called Pay and a song called Life. One of Jimmy's songs, one of my songs. We got a lot of mileage out of Pay, I remember.
What was it about?
It was having to pay your landlord, and, you know.
Yeah, we all got through that.
We were always in trouble with the landlord, you know. We couldn't, coming up with that $650 a month, that was not always that easy.
For most of your songs that you guys written, was that mostly life experiences?
It really was. Time is Standing Still, one of mine, I really liked.
Do you play any of those songs at all today?
I do. If I do an original set, absolutely.
You do play solo by yourself?
I do. I play solo. What are my big hits now, which is like Hey Judy. I think my big hit is I Love My Cat. And I have a parody song called Driving Over You Instead of Crying Over You. These are my latest. Yeah, the Daily Planet out in LA. We got to about 1984 and we met Nicolette Larson through Andrew and Kenny. We went out on the road with Nicolette Larson. So here we are finally with a recording artist and being her band.
Wow.
You know.
Nice.
That was a big turning point. At that time now we were called the Rockin' Jimmies. Because after Daily Planet it turned out to be it was just me and Jimmy. But once again we had to rebuild.